Robin joins us now. Robin, thank you so much for being here.
Hello.
So you and your boyfriend may have never discovered this hidden camera had you not happened to notice the smoke detector cover wasn't on right.
Yeah. It had fallen open, and so I actually didn't notice at that point because I just didn't really think to look closer at it. But we went out of town for a night, and when we got back, the cover was actually back up, and so that's what got us looking at it.
So this was just a chance thing where you noticed it before and then you come back and you think, wait a minute, that doesn't look right.
Yeah, absolutely. About a week before that, I noticed that it was open, and actually took that picture of it because I just thought it was kind of weird. And I think I was thinking I would have ask my boyfriend to close it. He didn't actually live there.
Yeah.
It was my apartment, and he lives up in Oregon, and he had come down to visit me, and so I was going to just ask him to fix it. So when I noticed that it was closed and we got back from being out of town for a night, I actually assumed that he had just fixed it for me, and I was like, oh, thanks for fixing that or whatever. And, he said he hadn't touched it at all.
Oh,
so then we took a closer look at it. Yeah.
So he said, listen, I didn't do anything. You look closer at it. And we actually have the moment that you found the camera, you captured that on video. I'm going to be honest with you, I probably would have screamed and fainted and ran out of the house because that is just terrifying. That's the moment.
Yeah, it was absolutely insane. It actually took us a couple minutes of looking at it to actually be sure that that's what it was. Because if you look at the inside of it, that is what it looked like. But it just seemed so insane that we kind of stared at it for a couple minutes, like not wanting to commit to the idea that that's actually what it was because it seemed crazy until we actually flipped it over and it did say on the back that it was a recording device. So.
You filed a report with the sheriff's department, but no one has been arrested as of yet. Even though you're in a new home, do you feel safe? Do you feel at ease at this point?
I've definitely been more on edge for sure. At this point, I am just living with family in the area until I get myself situated in a new place because I did want to move out immediately. So I think probably I will also, be a little bit more stressed about it when I'm looking at moving into an apartment again. But yeah, the other thing was that it had a SD card, right? So it didn't live stream, which is how we have the footage off it, because we were able to pull the footage from the SD card from that day.
So you think the person was planning to come back in and get the card later?
Yeah, actually, so that's the footage that shows the person's kind of arms putting it up that I think you guys have is actually from that day. And we assume that the reason that he was back to, be messing with it was that he would have had to switch the SD card out because it would have limited storage.
Do you think it's someone you knew, or do you think it was someone associated with the place before you moved in?
Well, I do know that it wasn't there. I tried to look through photos and stuff to see if I could see if it had been, the camera for a long time. And I was able to find one from early September. It was definitely the old smoke alarm. So I know it was relatively new that it had been placed there. And I don't think that it was someone that I knew. I actually haven't lived in this area for that long. I don't know very many people here.
Right.
And it was definitely someone who had access to my apartment, because I don't think that someone was, picking my lock in broad daylight on a regular basis. So, I don't want to obviously speculate on any specific individual at this point until they know for sure. But
we know that
as far as I know, nobody would have had access to my apartment besides myself and, whoever else would have had access to the apartment complex.
Well, I'm happy you are safe. I know police are investigating this, and the whole purpose in you sharing this story is to remind people that it can happen to them. You did not suspect anything. Well, stay safe, Robin, and we appreciate you sharing your story with us today.
Thank you. Yeah, thanks for having me on.